I just wrote my first morning pages. I read through the first section of The Artist's Way, made it to page 24. Just about to start week 1. Recovering a sense of safety. So basically, I just read through what the morning pages are going to be about, your artist dates and how those are critical. Boredom is just what's the use in disguise, and what's the use is fear. That is something that came up for me. That is something that resonated for me deeply. Sorry, they are mowing the lawn or something outside and I'm distracted. But I often find myself being like, what is the use of this? That's what I just got on here and say. I didn't say it like that, but that's basically what I got in here and said, is that I already do all of this, so how is this going to help me more? Calling me out in the first 20 pages. I often find myself bored when I start to do things that are good for me. Um, it was very much like this when I first started meditating also. That's why it was so hard for me to just sit down and do it. I would sit down and meditate. I would use the Headspace app and I would spend 3 minutes trying to meditate, and 3 minutes felt like an eternity. And the same has been true for me in writing. I know writing is very important, not just for me, but for anyone, but specifically for me. I'm a Gemini. We rule the hands and communication, and a lot of Geminis are poets, writers, and it's just important for me as a person to write my thoughts. And I've been in some way journaling my whole life since second grade. I can remember I have a journal that I was keeping. It's not even a journal, I would consider it a diary. Um, and literally every few pages, I have a new crush on some boy. And it was very interesting to write these morning pages intentionally and to see my inner child on the pages come out as this stream of consciousness is coming out, and to see like already just in these first pages like how I'm kind of disconnected from my subconscious. Like that's been something that I feel like I've been training my conscious mind to believe things. My subconscious mind too, like it's taken time. It's taken years to reprogram and unlearn some of these blockages that have been present in my life and my subconscious. But I have a very hard time identifying like the voice of my subconscious sometimes, and like knowing what my subconscious believes or doesn't believe. And I think it comes from like an intuition, a feeling, like tapping in with that feeling. But these pages are really going to help me. I know that because when I write, and when you write, when you're writing a stream of consciousness, like your subconscious is coming through, is coming out. That's why it's so important to write, because you can't think up your subconscious, because your thoughts are your conscious thoughts. Your subconscious are in the background. They're your first unfiltered thoughts. So if you're writing and you're not giving yourself time to filter these thoughts, you're getting your raw subconscious feelings. And you might slip in there a conscious thought here and there, but if you just get back into the flow of writing before you can even think, just hand moving. Don't worry about your penmanship. Just write. Don't worry about punctuation. Like, don't worry about any of that. Just write. And then you can see your raw thoughts. They become less scary, because a lot of times those subconscious thoughts for me can be scary because the thoughts that I'm having oftentimes I feel like are wrong. And that's a judgment that I'm putting on myself, because the thoughts that I'm having directly contradict a lot of times the life that I'm living. And not to say like lack mindset, for example, like, okay, I'm living an abundance lifestyle. I am abundant. I have all these great things that are coming to me, but my subconscious mind might be telling me like, oh, I'm not going to have enough if I spend this on XYZ. That's a very surface level um, example, a very surface level example, because the thoughts that I'm thinking of and talking about that I will not share with you are way more contradictory than that, way more problematic if I were to say them out loud. But like, that's okay. We're human. Oftentimes I find myself thinking, like, is this normal? Am I normal? No. The answer is no. I am completely unique. There is no normal. Like, what even is normal? Who am I comparing myself to think that I'm normal? I don't know what everyone else is thinking in their life. I don't know what kind of thoughts other people are having. Other people are probably having these same exact thoughts, if not worse, but they're just afraid to admit them to themselves. I'm not afraid to admit them to myself. I'm sometimes afraid to admit them to the real world. I'm not even afraid to admit them to the real world. I'm afraid of what they will do to the people I love. That's what I'm afraid of. Or like what they will do to me, how I'll be seen if, I guess that is kind of afraid, but like how I'll be seen by the people that I love if I were to admit these things, or what I might lose, who I might lose if I just admitted my true feelings sometimes. And these pages are helping me admit them and are helping me get those subconscious fears and thoughts out of my mind and onto paper and helping me process them. And I'm really excited for what else is to come and for what breakthroughs are to be had and for what breakdowns are to be had. They will all be documented here. So stay tuned.